So here's a little interesting application I've written as an overlay that uses note graphs. Here we have a simple preset, two oscillators. The frequency is controlled by a note graph. If you'll notice here in the ancillary, it tells you that this is being controlled by the first offset graph that's going to let me change the base MIDI pitch of this thing, and it uses the note to kilohertz conversion. So everything is being done in integer note values that get converted to kilohertz that the frequency requires on the oscillators. So we have two oscillators. Each one is set to have its frequency controlled by ramping through the graph here with SG1 for the first oscillator and SG2 for the second oscillator that I can set a speed on. And now when I look at the graphs, I'll use a main graph with a zero offset because I'm going to use the offset 1 and offset 2 graphs to offset MIDI notes from the base 0 values in the main graph. And oscillator 1 will use the offsets from the offset 1 graph, and oscillator 2 will use the offsets from the offset 2 graph. Oscillator 2 is set up an octave here with a frequency multiplier so you can hear it better. This is a preset that'll run fine on the current firmware if you just want to use the fixed banks that I have, the fixed graphs that I have there now. But with the overlays, I can create independent graphs that I can press a button and instantly load a new graph of 48 notes that'll start playing. So what I did here was I took the Bach cello suite number 1, the prelude, and I cut it up into 48 note pieces and duplicated them on voice 1 and voice 2. And currently, I have them set so they're playing the same graph at the same speed, which I can control the volume of each oscillator, the range that it moves through the graph. So if I only want to go through 10 notes on the graph, I can change that. The speed at which it moves through the graph, I can change the timbre of the oscillator that's playing. And then I put a little glide on each one so I can put a little portamento on this. This is treated as a drone, right? So if I play a key, those 48 notes are just played in sequence because I use a continuous shape generator. It repeats over and over again. Now, because I'm playing both oscillators with the same graph at the same speed, they're synced together. I can change the timbre. There, I can hear them a little better now. But let's change the graphs. So I'll play the current beginning graph on the lower voice, and let me change the upper voice. There, I put them back together. I can switch the direction of one of the voices. And I can play more than one voice at the same time, and it'll come in starting the pattern wherever I play the second note. Can get kind of confusing, but this just gives you an idea of some of the things that you can do here, and then you can play around and just start switching things off. It's amazing, these graphs load instantly without really any discontinuity, and of course it'll start playing at whatever note I'm playing on the keyboard. Let's put a little glide on now. We'll take one of the voices down so you can hear that better. There, you can hear some glide on there. So this just gives you an idea of the possibilities that overlays can be used for. You don't need to be very sophisticated in your preset design to do something pretty complicated and fun using this new overlay feature.